Hello and welcome everyone to our coverage of Bridger's Charity Hammer 2021 experience. Now you might be asking yourself, why are we doing this weird format? Why are we not seeing any of our beautiful faces? Well, let me tell you what happened. Bridger and I recorded this amazing interview, this great segment, and then promptly a few days later lost the footage. And sadly, all we have is the audio, but we figured it'd be a complete waste to go ahead and throw that away. So I have today gathered for you the Bridger files. This is essentially just the entire coverage of everything. We're going to walk through all the games. And yeah, that's it. Sorry we couldn't provide you guys with a video, but here is some sweet, juicy coverage of Bridger's Charity Hammer experience. Enjoy. Hello and welcome to all you members. Today we have our second ever event coverage. We have our very own Bridger Han, who's just back from Charity Hammer.
Whew, what a week.
What a weekend.
It was more than a weekend because it was Thursday through Sunday.
That's right.
4 full days of charity nonstop.
Oof.
It was brutal, but so much great Warhammer was played that week, and it was a really awesome time.
Amazing Warhammer played by some of the best players in the game, and also for a great cause. Charity Hammer is an annual event that gets hosted to raise money for Child's Play, which is an amazing charity supporting 185 hospitals globally. So it's an international organization that essentially raises money to buy toys and entertainment for kids in the hospital system going through tough times. It can be really difficult, and there's not always kind of the resources to help them through that. So Child's Play is all about that, and Charity Hammer this weekend raised a ton of money.
We're over 38,000.
Woof! Absolutely
so
incredible.
Much money.
Really cool. And guess what? It's still not too late to donate. We're going to have the link below here. And the donations are actually open for a few weeks still, about a month after the end of the event. So it's not too late to donate. It's a really amazing cause. And so that is kind of what Charity Hammer is. That's the idea. And over the course of this extended weekend, a number of the best and most famous Warhammer players, of which Bridger is both, get invited to go play tons of games. There was a GT, there was an Orc off, there was just random games in the middle of the night.
A ton of just exhibition games.
Oh my gosh.
You know, we had to fill, because there were 3 streams.
Right.
24 hours a day for 4 straight days.
Oh,
so that's like the number of games that were played on stream. Ridiculous. Just
so
an
wild.
Absurd number of games. So many fun events. There was a team event.
Oh, that's right, a team event.
5v5 teams.
Yeah.
It was everything you could imagine. Peter the Falcon even played a game.
We know that guy.
I don't even think I've seen Peter play in my life outside of that game that he somehow won.
Right. Oh, that's awesome. What did Peter bring?
Champ. So he brought Blood Angels.
Oh, nice.
And he plays a weird version of Blood Angels that I borrowed from him later. So we'll get to that.
Totally.
But he played against 120 Poxwalkers.
Oh, no.
And I was like, Peter, you're Blood Angels. You can't win this game. This is an unwinnable game. Like, if you charge and hit Poxwalkers, he charges you with Death Trap and you lose.
Yeah.
This is not a game, Peter.
Right.
But he clutched it out. He solved that riddle.
That's nuts.
He was an animal.
Was he not ABCing?
He ABC'd in a very creative way.
Yeah. Always be creatively charging.
Yeah, ABCC.
That's what it
is. There we go. So, without further ado.
Yeah, let's talk about it. So, first off, let's start by talking about your list. What did you bring? If you're not familiar, let's see.
So, I brought Custodes, had to represent. I was the only Custodes player there who was like officially Custodes in the GT.
That's right.
And I know in the past I've said I hate Telemons.
Yeah.
But really, the only remaining competitive build for Custodes is Shadowkeeper Dreadnoughts. So it was 2 Telemon, 2 Galatis. I had 2 units of Min Sagittarum, 1 Min unit of Shield Guard. I had a 5-man Venatari squad.
Naturally.
I had Trajan, a Bike Captain, and that's it.
That's it.
That's the whole list.
Tiny list.
Tiny list, but it packs a punch. It has way more shooting than anybody expects because everything just has incidental guns. The Sagittarum actually kind of shoot a lot.
They shoot so hard.
And all the Dreadnoughts have strength 6 flamers.
Yeah.
And like a lot of them. Like the Galatises have 2d6 hits each, and the Telemons have 2d3 per fist. So the double fist guys putting out 4d3 shots. It was gross.
It's super nasty. We played it on the stream, and I was like, I don't know about this list, Bridger, and you totally wrecked me with the new orcs. So it's good.
It's my kind of list because it's, and you'll see in some of these games it really mattered. It's the kind of list where you can say, this is my turn.
Right.
I'm going to fight you. And then on your turn, I'm going to put all my command points into not dying.
Totally.
And then I'll still be there and kill you. And that's the game.
Exactly.
And that's kind of how the list operates. You can spend 5 CP on a single model.
Right.
and keep it alive against their entire army shooting it,
Yeah,
which is just wild.
And it's so unreliable for them to know how much they need to put in, and you could just tank everything, right? And it's not really even the case of like, oh, it's a 4+ invul, and so like half the time you will, half the time you won't. Like, no, you can really throttle it.
Yeah, it's nuts.
It's super cool. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna dive into all of Bridger's games, talk about them. So obviously, spoilers ahead. If you want to go ahead and watch those games first, you can still check them out on Art of War, Biff Pod on Twitch, and Canhammer. So you can go ahead and check them out. They are amazing games. Yeah. But otherwise, we're gonna go ahead and talk about them. So you've been warned. Bridger, you want to take it away?
All right. So first and foremost, I had 3 a.m. exhibition games every night.
Yeah.
Which was like, I got a hotel under Brian's advisement. It was good advice. But getting to and from a hotel when you have a 3 a.m. game is a little tricky, right?
Gosh.
It's like,
who's
you have
picking
to
up
leave your hotel. Well, no, they had a great support staff. A lot of the locals worked really hard to make sure that we always had people running the streams.
That's cool.
And help getting to and from events, or from hotels, and making sure that food was arriving on time. And the support staff was amazing.
That's awesome.
They were
really
excellent. Cool. So like I would get up at 2, and then come down and play a game 3 to 6, and then sometimes I would have a 9 a.m. game. So it was like 6 to 9. I could just kind of hang out.
Oh my God.
It was a strange schedule, but next year I think I've proven myself.
Yeah.
And next year I won't be at 3 a.m.
Yeah, I think so. Based off your showing this year.
So my first game, 3 a.m., it was with Tanner, a super enthusiastic, excited local. I think he played the most games out of anybody.
That's awesome.
That week.
Yeah.
And he had some excellent games. He and Nick had a really fun game.
That's cool.
So he brought Bellacor. Tell you what,
Yes.
Pacific Northwest is really into Bellacor.
What?
There were so many Bellacor lists.
That's so funny.
Jim Vessel brought Bellacor.
Yeah.
Tim brought Bellacor. My Zach, another one of my games, Bellacor. So many Bellacor games. Chaos players were starved for rules, and once they got rules, they were like,
Let's do this thing.
So he brought a Bellacor list. It was Bellacor, 30 pinks with like 250 summoning points.
Okay. Oh wow.
22 bloodletters to have some buffer. That might be Zach. He might have only had 20 bloodletters. He had a squad of 9 bikers with some meltas and multi-meltas.
Nice. Yep.
He had the mirror, and he had some caster somewhere in there, right? Like it was a very bare bones list. It was like Bellacor and some demons.
Jeez.
Let's rumble.
Big expensive units, essentially.
Yeah. Wow. And the whole plan of the list is to get the 30 pinks in combat with all your shooting, scary stuff.
Right.
And then never die.
Yep.
They'll just split and split and split and split and split. And they'll auto pass morale, 2 CP as Bellacor. You auto pass on a 1, so you just your banner just works every turn.
And you just bring more stuff back.
You just bring more back, and you bring pinks back that will then split and split and split. So you just, it's like Sigmar demons. It's
so
pretty much
gross. I
Sigmar
love it.
Bellacor.
I'm really leaning into that. That's really cool.
And in this game, I was deployed. So it was on the crystal. If you watch the games, there was a crystal board.
The crystal board was so cool.
It was a very cool board.
Infamous, huh?
But it was like, if you have shooting, you won't ever shoot.
Oh, wow.
And if you have vehicles, you're going to have difficulty navigating.
Oh, no.
So there's a bunch of like obscuring breachable terrain. Everything was obscuring and breachable. The whole board.
Right.
So like there were these big crystal, if you've been to LVO and you've seen the thick, tall walls of foam that they have, it was like that, but it wasn't tall, it was just crystals.
Right. But it's completely filled in, right? There's no windows or anything.
There's no windows anywhere. It's all just like obscuring everywhere. And there were 2 ruins in the middle just to gum things up more. So I deployed like on the line because I know it's a race for the middle. This was a mission with an objective in the middle, and we were both just gonna fight over the middle, and we both took Stranglehold. And we both took the one that's like hold the middle bit, right? We were both just like, well, this game's gonna be a fight in the middle. We'll see what happens. And he goes first, and he dejumps because Bellacor has that spell.
That's right. That's right.
He dejumps the 30 pinks and then makes the 8-inch charge because he has an instrument. So I'm just touched in my deployment zone.
Oh my god.
And he has like every objective on the board.
That's so
like
cool.
I have my deployment zone objective.
Yeah.
And I have 2 Galatis in front of 2 Telemon and Trajan. And the Telemons can't fit through because this board is like super cram jammed. And those 2 Galatis were just in combat with pinks until all the pinks were dead. Oh my god. It was
wild.
A crazy game.
That's wild.
I lost my Venatari.
Yeah.
No, that's right. Okay, so he didn't jump the pinks. He didn't have to.
Yeah.
He jumped the bloodletters.
Okay.
Who killed my Venatari turn 1.
Oh,
I lost all my Venatari
so
turn 1. And I was like, oh, this is really bad.
You're like, yep.
I'm in danger. I'm stuck in my deployment zone with no shooting. And 2 Telemon, they're stuck behind 2 Galatis. This is really bad. But, as it turns out, if you have 6 fight phases and 2 shoot phases, 2 Gladys can kill like 60 pinks.
Jeez.
They just keep on trucking. And
That's really impressive.
I'll tell you what, strength 6, winning basically everything on 2s. It's really great
pretty good.
with the flamers.
Yeah.
And then you just sit Trajan next to them, and they're like, everything hits and everything wounds every turn. Keep making your invulns until you die.
Oh my gosh.
So we just sat there, and we just duked it out. Turn 3, I was out of combat, and I basically tabled him turn 4.
Wow. That's nuts.
Yeah.
So you just bullied your way through.
Like turn 2, I was like, oh man, this is really bad.
That
I need
sounds
to
like a
start
worst case
charging
scenario, yeah.
everything in. Like I started
That's so
charging
bad.
Sagittarum in without knives. I was charging all my characters in.
Right.
And I was just like, oh man, I really hope I get through this because turn 3 is the turning point. If I don't do it, he's just gonna win on points and I lose. But we made it through, and the bike captain really proved his worth.
That's awesome.
The bike captain with Unstoppable Destroyer kind of just does whatever he wants all the time.
Right.
Because the only threats to him are Bellacor on the entire board.
That's interesting. Yeah, because he mostly, especially after the bloodletters are gone, everything is like board control, but not super killy.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
it was just he kind of got to bully and have OBSEC. Once the bloodletters were dead and the pinks were stuck, there was no OBSEC to speak of.
Yeah.
Right? And this was kind of a theme with the Bellacor lists, is they kind of run out of OBSEC very
weird.
fast. So he just like kind of ran rampant and just took whatever objective he wanted and killed whoever he wanted and never got retaliated against because Unstoppable Destroyer is very cool.
Yeah.
So that was that game, right? It was like in combat turn 1, stuck in my deployment zone, turn 3 breakout, take the whole board, table the opponent, win the game.
Yep.
Bellacor, scary on the offense, not scary on the defense.
Nah,
Just punch him.
he doesn't have enough layers, right?
Yep.
He's not an onion in that way.
He's not an onion.
An onion.
So that was my 3 a.m. game
Woof.
on Friday morning.
Yep.
And then Friday the GT starts. So I had a 9 a.m. game with Tim. Very funny. This list was a total meme. I don't know if you've seen this list. It's known to be played on Tabletop Simulator.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, I don't have to move many models, so that's good. It's a sisters list with as many engines as possible. So it had like 12 penitent engines and 6 mortifiers. And then behind it are just absurd characters. So you had Retributor Squads and Morven Vol and Celestine and
he had
the Harlequin.
He had Euphraim,
The Harlequin character that shoots out mortal wounds
and ignores invulns.
It smites in the shoot phase for some reason and ignores invulns in combat.
So cool.
It's Ephriel Stern.
Ephriel Stern, yeah.
Oh, what an amazing unit.
You like it?
I was impressed.
It looked really fun. It looked really cool. Did Kaiganol die like super early on?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, as soon as they're in combat, Kaiganol dies, and then you lose the Feel No Pain.
Right.
But they have like 12 wounds between them.
Yeah.
They have like
really
a lot
cool.
of wounds.
I'm intrigued.
And he also had an Inquisitor, so he had kind of a lot of mortal wounds, which this list should be very weak against.
Yes.
But he also had a lot of tough 5, and I have a lot of strength 6, and he had a lot of strength 5. And I had way too much strength 7, or tough 7 and 8.
Strength like 12.
I was like, you can't. I'm invincible. Sorry, bro. And I'm gonna pick up as many of your models as I want every turn.
Yeah.
So it was hammer and anvil deployment, and it was split. There was this was priority vital ground. This was vital ground.
Vital ground. That's right.
And he took vital ground against all best advice. Somebody told him to take vital ground, and he was like, I don't think so.
Oh yeah,
that
you mentioned that.
doesn't seem like a good idea, but I'll do it.
He's like,
But
I'm going to
really-
assume you have a plan.
It doesn't seem like a good idea because I've survived my command phase, and these things don't live.
No.
And they didn't live.
They die so fast.
But he also took the Shrine secondary.
Which seemed really interesting.
It was. It's like in this mission, where both sides are equivalent, and your opponent picks one of the objectives that isn't in a deployment zone, and you just have to hold it at the end of your turn to get 3 points. Yeah. That's easy.
Yeah.
That's
actually really cool.
You just pick a side and you dogpile that side.
It's an easy mini stranglehold essentially.
Yep.
That's actually a really great point.
I was super into it, and he got it, I think, every turn. But so we were trading back and forth on these side objectives, but he yielded one side to me fully.
Yeah.
So I walked a Telemon and a bike captain onto the right side for me. And on the left side, I just left a Galatis out because I knew it was going to die.
Yeah.
And so I had a Telemon and Trajan and all the Venatari behind on that side as a reserve, and he totally dogpiled that side. That was the Shrine side.
Totally.
And, you know, with all of my strength 6 shooting and my strength 7 and 16 combat, I pick up like 8 engines a turn. It's like ridiculous how many engines I can kill.
Yeah.
And like even heavy bolters will just tear through the engines. And the Adrathic Destructor part of the Sagittarium gun, like strength 5 AP 3 damage.
No.
Good luck, dude. You don't get saves.
Oh, it's so brutal. Did you take Bring It Down?
Yes. Well, yeah, it was like a free 15, Bring It Down.
It's such a free 15. It's always been my trouble with those guys. Even now that they give up less points.
Yeah, it's a meme list.
It's a meme list.
They will give up Bring It Down.
Yeah.
He didn't even keep track. He was like, you get 15.
You get 15.
Every game he played, he was like, you get 15. I don't want to think about it. But I took Stranglehold to the last and Bring It Down. So because he yielded a full objective to me, all I really had to do was fight over one objective every turn.
Right.
And it's a trading game, and I'm trading less valuable things.
Yeah.
Because I can also shoot.
Crazy to think about.
It is crazy to think about. But like, I'm throwing out a 170-point Dreadnought, who will pick up a squad of 3 engines in combat, and then in shooting, I'll pick up another 3 engines, and then on the other side of the board, where I have free reign, I will pick up another 3 engines. So I'm killing like 9 engines a turn for my 170-point trade, which just works out for me.
Pretty great.
And then there was a moment in the game, because he was running out of things to screen his characters. It's like a ball of characters behind these engines. When you run out of engines, those characters just die.
Right, yeah.
So there was a moment where I was like, okay, Tim, you tell me if I'm wrong. If I kill these 3 retributors, I can just shoot all your characters.
Right.
And he was like, yep, you found it.
Yep.
You saw the thing.
Found it.
Uh-oh.
No.
So I picked up the Inquisitor, because he's the most dangerous.
Sure.
It's the D3 Mortals. And then I started to shoot into Ephrail Stern, the
Yeah.
next least durable and scariest character for me. Didn't quite kill her.
Yeah.
But eventually I got to her. But killing the Inquisitor that turn was a big turning point.
Yeah, that was
and I had already started to swing around into his backfield and just get charges anywhere I wanted. So that game, I was pretty sizably ahead from getting all those kills and Stranglehold and him not getting Vital Ground because it's a bad secondary that he got tricked into. Sorry, Tim. So I was way ahead. It was my game to lose. And then I started to try to lose it. Not intentionally, but like...
Sure, yeah.
I just wanted to see what happened. Like, I was like, well, I have a Double Fist Telmon.
Yeah.
That can fight Morvenval, right?
Right. No.
Right? You can fight... He's a Double Fist Telmon. He can fight anything.
I saw you pile in. You were like, do I do it? Do I not? And I was like, don't do it. And you're like, I'm going to charge my fireball. I was like, it's happening.
I thought I could kill her, but half damage. Turns out, real good.
Really good.
Real good.
Yeah.
So my 4 damage goes to 2, which means I need him to fail 4 4-up invulns for her to die.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which did not happen.
No.
And then she just slapped my Telmon into next week.
You pop the double fight once per game. It's real good.
Yeah.
It's real good.
Yeah, she's real strong. That's a strong unit. I have to say, in all my games against sisters, I can now kind of want to play sisters.
Yeah, they're so cool.
Really good. They're so good. So like he pushed all his characters, and he had Sacrosanct also to bring up behind onto his shrine objective. But the problem was he didn't have any OBSEC left.
Right. Yeah.
So I could just like sneak on 1 OBSEC unit every turn. I snuck on my 2 Venatari remaining after they got hit by, I think, Celestine.
Yeah.
And then I snuck on, or I tried to in the final turn sneak on 1 more charge to steal it 1 more time. Yeah. But like the points lead was too big.
Yeah. He didn't have a Dogmata, huh?
No.
Which came up in a later game, how essential it is for kind of managing that momentum, which you've mentioned now twice in a row, right?
Yeah.
People running out of OBSEC to get all those points. So that's something to think about for sure.
Something to think about. Warhammer is now a trading game, and if you run out of OBSEC to trade with,
you're done.
You have to kill them off the objective. You can't just steal it.
Yeah. It's brutal.
And that's a lot harder.
I really, really loved this game. You guys had an excellent banter. It was really fun to listen to. And I was very thankful that it was on the Art of War stream, which was very hands-off and it was great. We could hear the players mic'd. You guys were just having a great time. Very, it was just really cool. I would loved listening and watching that game.
One thing I wish we had done, which obviously we couldn't do, because Peter was in and out of the room all the time.
Sure.
He was just like wandering around giving stuff away. Peter worked a lot that weekend.
I imagine, yeah.
I wanted Peter mic'd.
Yeah.
Because he just had the funniest things to say. At any time he was in the room, he was saying the funniest thing. And you could kind of hear me and Tim reacting to Peter. But like, man, if you ever get the chance to meet Peter, the Falcon.
Do so.
Do so. Because he's a great guy.
Yeah, totally. We love Peter.
So that was a Tim game.
Yeah.
Killed a bunch of engines and had OBSEC.
Sounds great.
Okay, so I had a 3 a.m. game. Didn't really sleep much.
Yeah.
Then I had 6 to 9 where I was like allowed to nap in the tiki bar. There, like above the pool there was like wicker furniture, so not great sleeping, but I napped a bit. Had a 9 a.m. game with Tim, and then immediately into a 12 a.m. game, or a noon game.
Yes.
With John Lennon.
With Mr. John Lennon.
With the best player in the world.
Oh gosh.
So this was an amazing game, and I have to say, John Lennon,
so good.
Amazing opponent.
Yeah.
Like we had an amazing time. We just we talked a lot, and we just kind of helped each other. Like anytime we saw each other doing something where it was like, no, I can also do this. We just told each other, and we helped move each other's models. It was a great, super sporting game.
Totally gentlemanly.
Awesome.
Also great banter. Again, you guys had total great vibes. So really a pleasure to watch.
He's a great presenter, I gotta say.
He does a great job.
If you want to watch Art of War and see John Lennon play, he'll teach you Warhammer because he's a great presenter.
Yeah, for real.
So this was the diagonal deployment.
Yep.
And this was the secondary where you want to hold, this mission had the secondary where we want to hold the center point.
Right.
And I was like, okay, I lucked out. It's another game
Yeah.
where I can take while we stand, stranglehold, and hold the middle. It's like, I can just sit on objectives.
We're in it.
Win the game, right? And this was this really cool starship board where there was like a spaceship exploding all over the table, and there was this giant centerpiece that was in the middle, and we were like, an objective has to go, can somebody move this?
Yeah.
So an impartial third party moved it, and it made the game really interesting to play around that big, obscuring piece of terrain.
Yeah.
Because I swung a Telemon and a bike captain around that flank to steal his objective, right? On the diagonal, you have a home objective, and then one that's like really close.
Right.
And I took his really close one in the middle. I had to go first.
Yep.
And I put a Galatis in the middle, and a Telemon and a bike captain out the other side, and everything just held.
Totally.
Everything stayed because I knew his firepower is obscene and disgusting. He had a sisters list with 2 Retributor squads, 2 multi-meltas, and 2 heavy flamers in each.
With Ebon Chalice.
Ebon Chalice, so the heavy flamers deal mortal wounds and get to strength 6 and hurt my feelings.
So good.
And they're very strong.
Yeah.
He had Morven Vol, he had Celestine, both of which seem like ridiculous auto-take characters at this point.
Especially with Sacrosanct.
Especially
for
with
Celestine.
A unit of Sacrosancts. And Morven giving full rerolls to Celestine really cranks up her damage output. She can get those exploding 6s.
Yep.
You can just fish for 6s. Like every game,
I love that.
I saw her getting 7 hits on 5 attacks.
Oh my god.
Every single game. He had 3 rhinos.
Yep.
He had 2 units of Repentia and a Repentia Prime.
Superior.
Yep. There we go.
Which, haters beware. It's the way to play it now.
It's real good.
Yeah.
And he had 2 units of Seraphim and 2 units of Zephyrim, which are style picks and amazing.
So good. All men, and he had flamers in the Seraphim, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
But I guess that again
They can
procs
also do the
Ebon
flamers
Chalice.
strat.
Literally, as I said it, I was like, oh, that's right.
So many mortal wounds to this army.
Yeah.
And he had the person who makes things OPSEC.
2 Dogmatas, I think. Yeah. Because he had, there was a lot of the melee stuff was Bloody Rose. So the Zephyrim, the Repentia was Bloody Rose, and then Ebon Chalice on the stuff that was Flamers, essentially. And I believe there was a Dogmata in basically each order.
So he can make anything OPSEC at any time.
Which is important.
Basically.
Yeah.
Which we'll come back to. But this list just punches. It slaps. Like in shooting, in fighting.
It's such a cool list.
It's durable in weird ways. It's MSU, so like you're trading down every time.
Yep.
It was ridiculous. So I had to go first. I pushed out on the objectives.
Yep.
And I was like, come at me, bro. Like, I know you're going to kill this Galatis, but will you, though? So I start the game with 5 CP.
Yeah.
I go up to 6 for my turn.
All right.
I'm like, all right, you got free reign. You can shoot everything you want at this Galatis.
Yep.
But everything you shoot at the Galatis, you're not shooting at the Telemon or the bike captain who have swung around your flank.
Yep.
And he shot every gun in his army at the Galatis, and I spent 5 command points to keep him alive.
Oh my gosh. It was so terrifying. Watching you double down and then triple down and then quadruple down. You're like, it's working. And you're like, all right, we're going to do another buff. And John's like, what's happening?
He thought I was crazy. He was like, you cannot be committing every single command point you have on one model.
It was the most Bridger move I'd seen all
Turn
weekend,
1.
for sure.
But it was like, it was this gambit.
Yeah.
And I knew that if I held the middle and I just auto win the other flank, I could win the game. Like, I could just win turn 1, basically. And so I put 5 CP in. It was Armor of Contempt for 5 of Feeling the Pain against the 1 billion mortals.
Naturally.
No rerolls.
Yep.
I used Emperor's Auspice. I used Shadow Keepers for -1 strength. Yeah, no rerolls. That army has a lot of rerolls, and I turned them all off.
Yeah.
And then a command point reroll on Multi-Melta. I took
Point reroll.
I took 0 damage from Multi-Meltas in that game.
Yes.
I'm just going to put that out there.
Well, that's the other thing is, especially with sisters like Retributors, once they make their shot, then you can respond to them. So it's extra nerve-wracking if they start to bounce, which they totally can into Custodes.
So he shot everything in. He used all of his cherubs. He shot everything.
Yeah.
And he was just out there. He was like, my units are there now, and you can kill them because I need this Galatis dead.
Yeah.
And the Galatis lived with like 3 wins.
Oh.
Yeah. Gladises are real good.
So
if you play Custodes, go out and buy as many Gladises as you can afford on your budget. So he passed it back to me for turn 2, and I was like, cool. cool, I have 4 objectives, and I pick up all the things you put out. Like, I pick up a Retributor squad, I pick up the sisters he threw on the objective, so he's down an OBSEC. I picked up a Rhino, which I think, in retrospect, was a mistake, because the Repentia get out, and they got out 6, and then had a charge on my Sagittarum. But I was just trying to pick up all the things I could.
Yep, totally.
And I moved out the Bike Captain and the Telemon on the flank to hold that objective with OBSEC. And I think I did like a cheeky charge on Celestine. It was like, well, I'm Unstoppable Destroyer, so you don't actually get to fight me.
Yeah.
So I did like, I killed both of the
the Geminis.
The Geminis in shooting with the Telemon, and then I put like 2 damage on, because it's, 4d3 strength 6 flamers.
Wait, you didn't have Sacrosants like nearby?
No. Because he didn't, I mean, he needed to stage them because he didn't want me to shoot or charge them. And he didn't think that I could kill Celestine. He was right. I couldn't kill Celestine.
Yeah.
So I picked up her 2 Gemini and put some damage on her, and then she just cried somewhere, and everything was undone.
Yeah.
So my turn 2, I was feeling pretty good. I was like, oh man, I could win this game. I just scored a lot of points. This is John Lennon.
Yeah.
And my game plan is working.
It was nuts.
And he has to respond.
Yeah.
And then his turn 3, he didn't kill me. He picked up the Galatis, and I think he might have killed the Telemon in turn 3. But he lost a lot of Repentia to do it.
Yeah.
But he played correct, like, in every turn. I don't think he made any mistakes. He played correctly every turn, where he was like, okay, I'm going to commit exactly as much as I think I need to kill this Telemon, and then your Bike Captain is tagged, so like, boo-hoo, you're going to do nothing. And then he killed the Galatis, and he put out just as much as he needed to hold the middle point and kill the Galatis. And now it's back to me, and I have to respond. And I'm like, okay, well, I have a Bike Captain. And everything else is staged and not actually in the game right now.
Right.
We're back to actually having to play this game. We have to work for it. So Galatis number 2 has to go in. Which, man, if I were to change my list, 3 Galatis.
3 Galatis.
Because they are better than Telemons in almost every way.
That's nuts.
Yeah, so I send in the 2nd Galatis as another trade. It's like a 170-point unit. I take back the middle again.
Yep.
I'm still up a lot of points.
Yeah.
Bike Captain was kind of just left in the wind. He had no OBSEC on his flank point.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, if the Bike Captain lives through a turn, I did spend 2 CP before the game on Veterans of the Blood Games, or Victor of the Blood Games. Yeah, it didn't work out. It was a waste of 2 CP. I think I rerolled once in the entire game.
Right.
Blood Games. But, so I needed this Bike Captain to miraculously live on that point.
Sure.
And then the game was over. If that Bike Captain lived, I just win the game, I think.
So wild.
So he knew that. He recognized this. He was like, oh, man, I really got to deal with that. So he pulls out the 2nd Retributor squad and just torches him. So many mortal wounds. And sadness. And sadness. And then Celestine charges and deals even more mortal wounds. And I was like, oh, man, he died. Okay, well, bummer. He kills the Galatis in the middle. It's back to me. I put it like, I think Sagittarum in the middle or something. Something that did not matter. And this is where the game kind of fell apart, because he all-in. Turn 4, he put his whole army in the middle of the table. And was like, all right,
I've seen that.
You got to do something.
And he made like a bubble of Sacrosants around a character in the middle.
Yeah, so I couldn't choose characters. Like, my Vanitari were shooting things that didn't matter because he had tagged me in a bunch of places. And I was just, that was when I kind of knew the game was over. I was looking at it and I was like, ooh.
You were like, that's it. But, you were still playing it. You were still picking up points.
I did everything I could. I charged everything. I did as much combat as I could. I did as much shooting as I could. I tried to hold points as creatively as I could, where I was least likely to lose models on the point. But he all-in'd me, and I have to say, Sisters units are really good.
They are good.
Sisters units are powerful. And when you use a Dogmata to give Seraphim, who would otherwise do nothing at any point, OBSEC, and they just shoot across the board like a missile,
grab it,
steal an objective, it's real strong.
Excellent.
So he stole my objective, turn 4, which means turn 5 I don't score points. So I was like, oh, you figured it out. You got me.
Nail in the coffin.
I don't get points this turn. And then my turn 5 kind of meant nothing. And his turn 5 was just like, well, I said places and score points. And that was my Lennon game.
Yeah.
That was the day I almost beat the best player in the world.
So good.
So close.
It was like a 7-point game.
7 points.
Which is nuts.
It was 70 to 77. Oof. Which, gotta say, do you like those numbers?
Yeah, on brand. I like it.
On brand. I try. But what a great game with John Lennon, and what a great opponent.
You did great. Yeah, it was an awesome game to watch. Really, really well played. I think a lot of people still saying that was the best game of the weekend.
Wow. Well, I'm flattered.
Good.
I had a lot of people come after me after that game and say like, "Wow, I didn't know you knew how to actually play Warhammer."
People so underestimated you. I was like, Bridger plays fun and silly on stream. Like as a choice because it's fun and it's silly.
Fun, right.
He's a great player.
Yeah.
And people just totally underestimated you. And you know what? Doomed to them, basically.
Their loss. Yeah.
Their loss.
I still haven't won a major, but I've gone 5-1 multiple times.
Yes.
Which is like with custodians.
If they went and looked at your ITC, like your scoring history, like you are a good player. You have done very, very well.
Thank you.
Yes, including at even the last BAO. You know.
Yeah.
Just you absolutely wrecked.
That was a great BAO.
Yeah.
For custodians.
For custode, that's right. That was a good year.
Those were good times. Well, so that was like my day, 2?
Yeah.
After that, I went to sleep.
It's crazy.
I was like, I have not slept in a very long time. Put food in my mouth and put me to bed because I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
So I went back to my hotel, got up at 2 a.m. again, came back, and day 2 I played Zach, or Knight. My second exhibition game was against Zach.
The next morn.
Who is another great local.
Cool.
Oh man, if he's not a local, I'm going to look like a dingus. But I'm pretty sure he's a local. And he also had Bellacor.
Oh.
And
That's so funny.
I walked in the room and I was like, man, I played a lot of custodes yesterday. It would be kind of lame if all I did was come to this event and play custodes.
Sure.
And we walked in, and Peter was finishing up his game against Poxwalkers on the table, and I was like, Peter, can I just play your Blood Angels?
Phil likes the Blood Angels.
I'll just play your Blood Angels.
Yeah.
And Peter was like, yeah, sure, whatever, go for it. Yeah. So I took Peter's Blood Angels against a new Bellacor list.
That's cool.
And this Bellacor list was all about Beasts of Nurgle.
Oh, nice.
And the other thing that looks like a Beast of Nurgle. Ooga Booga Tentacle, tough 4, not tough 5.
I don't know. What the heck?
Some
Chaos Spawn?
Yes.
Okay.
Chaos Spawn.
I was like, what?
Yep. Nailed it.
Sounds good.
So it was.
They're toughness 5, by the way. Anyways.
Toughnesses do not matter in this game. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
So he had a ton of not obsec bodies that have a lot of wounds and feel no pains.
Interesting.
And a lot of attacks at 2 damage. Mm-hmm. And I was Blood Angels, so this could go really bad for me, right? I could suddenly lose a lot of units.
Totally.
He also had Bellacor. The mirror is going to be in every game.
Interesting. Yeah.
Because it fills your Slanesh slot. You don't really want to take anything else Slanesh.
Oh, right.
And Bellacor requires you to take all the gods.
Yeah.
So you see the mirror in every Bellacor
That
list.
makes sense. Yeah.
And then he had some kind of caster on a disc that was just a cheap secondary monkey.
Yeah, a little Flux Master.
And yes, Fluxmaster. And he had Obliterators.
Oh, cool.
Which turned out to be my demise. He also had the 22-man Bloodletter squad and I think 10 Brims.
Okay.
So the obsec in the
Filling
list
out the-
was 22 Bloodletters and 10 Brims.
So weird to me.
And I was playing Peter's Blood Angels,
Yeah.
which is a very weird Blood Angel list to me.
Yeah.
I had 1 big Vanguard Vet squad, all with jump packs.
Nice.
9 had Lightning Claw Storm Shield, and the Sergeant had the Relic Thunderhammer, the upgraded Thunderhammer.
Oh, nice.
So he's 4 damage, AP3,
Woo!
swinging a big hammer.
I'm into it.
I actually really like this idea.
I bet you did, of course.
That was awesome. Then it has a unit of Incursors.
Okay, cool.
It has 2 units of 5 Assault Intercessors. Intercessors with the Assault Bolt.
Oh, okay.
Which was a strange choice
Weird.
to me.
Yeah.
But I now see it because the list has very little shooting. It needs some shooting.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think the Assault Bolters with 0 AP
Yeah.
are not the shooting I want.
Right.
It has 2 Contemptors with Volkite. Which, again, more AP 0 shooting.
Totally.
But they're real good. They're real good.
They're pretty good.
It had Dante. It had
like it.
a Sang Priest on jump pack. It had a Bike Chaplain with totally different loadout than I would ever take.
I bet. It wasn't just Hulk out.
This game sold me. So he was Master of Sanctity.
Okay.
And he had the Indominus armor.
Okay.
For 2-up armor, 3-up invuln, 1
per
turn.
game, yeah.
He had the Blood Angel 5-up Feel No Pain Warlord trait.
Okay.
And the Blood Angel Warlord trait that is take another relic.
Yeah.
And he took the +1 wound. No, that's also Indominus armor. He took some other tanky relic,
Yeah.
right? So this guy was
Weird.
like, I won't die.
Yeah.
My job is to not die. I will go solve your problems while not dying.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. He had Rights of War. The Feel No Pain was a relic.
Yeah.
And Indominus armor.
Yeah, okay.
So this guy was like impossible to kill and gives OPSEC.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I know what to do with this.
Totally.
Put him in the back of my head. Come back to that later. I'll deal with it. I know exactly what to do with this guy.
Right.
And I'm sold on it, man. I gotta say. So he was Master of Sanctity with Hulk out and +2 to charge, both the litanies I would take. What else was in the list? 2 units of 7 Sangard, 1 with swords, 1 with axes.
Very nice.
Another strange choice to me, but again, I will never say no to 7s.
7.
So I just rolled with it. I think that's the whole list. That's 2,000 points of Blood Angels.
Wild.
And
Weird list.
it was a weird list.
Yeah.
It's very not Blood Angels.
Yeah.
But I just I just played it.
Why not?
I was like, yeah, why
That's
not?
fun.
It's guys with jump packs. I'll play it.
They do have jump packs.
They
Exactly.
do mostly have jump packs. the Volkite Contemptors don't.
I think those are basically jump packs. They shoot them at the ground and that makes them fly.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. So this game, I think I also had to go first in this game. I went first a lot, but that's okay. So I staged units and kind of threat overloaded. I said like, okay, I'm just gonna push everything up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold the middle.
Okay.
Because I had Oath. I tried to cheat. I tried to take not Oath.
Yeah.
I tried to stack secondaries that weren't allowed to stack. So I ended up with Oath and be in his deployment zone, which is, again, one of my favorite secondaries in the entire game.
So good.
And Stranglehold, I want to say? No, Banners. This was a Banners mission.
Oh, Banners mission.
Because it was the one where you burn your opponent's objectives.
Oh, nice.
Which, if you ever figure that out, good on you. So I raise banners and in my deployment zone, and I kind of wander out.
Okay.
And I stage all my units and incursors that started up the board. Got a turn 1 charge to steal an objective, so he couldn't put a banner out.
Oh, that's good.
And get in his deployment zone for 4 points. Because, like, lol.
Wow.
So incursors showing their value immediately. They died super fast.
I love them with Blood Angels, though. They're great.
It was a lot of points they scored.
Yeah. Totally worth it.
And he had 10 cultists. That was the other
okay. Well, in that case.
We solved it.
Yeah.
Because the cultists were over there and ended up taking that objective back.
So there's the OBSEC.
There's the third OBSEC unit in the entire army. So I like stage, and I know that I can't hide. I have too many jump pack models.
Yeah.
Because I have like 24 jump pack models or something. Like it takes up too much land mass.
Yeah.
So I can't hide it all. So in the middle of the board is the 10 Vanguard vets.
Okay.
And they're not hiding because he's just going to jump as a blitz anywhere he wants.
Yeah, totally.
And just shoot me. Right. So I'm like, all right, if you're going to shoot something. Oh, and I had 5 Blade Guard veterans. I left that out. So the 5 Blade Guard vets, 10 Vanguard vets,
naturally.
Dante, chilling in the middle of the board for Oath. I was like, come at me. What are you going to do? Well, he came at me and he shot Obliterators. And I got Obliterated.
Oh my god.
So 3 Obliterators killed 9 Vanguard vets through Storm Shields.
Woo! Yeah, they'll do that.
With double shooting.
No transhuman there.
Brutal.
Oh my god.
It hurt me deeply. And the mistake that I made was not putting the Sang Priest with them.
Oh, okay.
I hedged. I was like, he's going to shoot something on the Sang Priest over here. Have a bunch of Storm Shields in the middle.
Sure.
And now I'm kind of like, your call. Like, right? You pick what you kill. It hurt. It hurt.
That's brutal. Oh my gosh.
But that was like his turn 1, was taking back his deployment zone and killing 9 Vanguard veterans.
Yeah.
Because his list is like slow. They move like 5 inches, right?
Yeah, exactly. Unless you're jumping them.
Unless you're jumping
Which is the only reason you can start with them on the board in this army. You don't have to deep strike them.
And you have to jump the Blitz. So every turn he was jumping the Blitz, which made sense.
Yep.
So I lose a lot of Vanguard vets. I res 1. So now I have the Hammer guy and 1 bodyguard for him.
Yeah.
And these 2 are heroes.
No, really?
For the rest of the game, they just run around never dying. The guy with Storm Shield tanks everything forever. He was a total hero.
That's wild.
Just covering for his buddy with the Relic Thunderhammer.
I love it.
So I kind of just retook the middle. He charged with, he had like a 12-inch charge, and he just rolled it and got the 12.
Why not?
So he fought some Blade Guard vet and killed like 2. So I retook the middle, drop another banner because I have my middle objective. I steal his middle objective with Sangard, charging his Beast of Nurgle.
Nice.
But Bellacor is like right there to kill me immediately after. It was just like a very back and forth game where I spent every turn throwing away 1 unit at a time to just take an objective in his deployment zone.
Sounds very nice.
Every turn, I was like, all right, well that your objective,
all the way.
I picked up all your OBSEC with Volkite. So I'm just going to steal your objective every turn for the remainder of the game. So I threw away Sangard to steal that objective. And then I threw away the Bike Chaplain, who is very, very durable.
He's so durable.
Very durable. So he's Rites of War. He swings in onto that objective with 5 Beasts of Nurgle, 3 Chaos Spawn, the Mirror, like everything. Wow. Everything got to fight him. And he was like, nah, bro, I got a 3-up invuln. I'm
crazy.
Fine. He lives on 1 wound.
Oh!
And then I'm like, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
I can just back him out and throw Dante onto that. So he gives Dante OBSEC.
Yes, of course.
Dante steals that objective. It was a wonderful lesson in 9th edition of just like...
Yeah, sounds like it.
These models are super killy. This army is like mega lethal.
Yeah.
And I didn't really try to kill anything at any point.
No, you don't have to.
Yeah.
That's not how the game's played now.
No, yeah. So I like actually played 9th edition.
Yeah.
Unlike on the channel where I just try to kill things.
Yeah.
And I just got a ton of points and won the game. I was almost tabled at the end of the game, but
you won it.
And Bellacor was able to just run around and kill anything he wanted at any time. I didn't care. I was just throwing away units left and right.
Exactly.
Scoring points. So that was my game with Zach. Very fun game.
Yeah.
Chaos still have teeth. They're lethal.
That's cool. That's good to hear.
But they can't hold and kill.
Yeah.
They can do one or the other.
Very, very interesting to be hearing about these lists, especially with the lack of obsec.
Yeah. So that was game 2. I had planned to play Peter later that day, but he needed to sleep and then fly, and also commentate and give away prizes and. So I wanted to play Peter. Didn't get to. That's fine. I kind of just hung out and talked to people, did some great networking. Had some laughs. Ate some good food. And then night 3. Oh man, this is the first time I'm gonna refer to my notes because I'm not good with names. I'm amazed I got this far into names, but Mitch from Sacramento.
Very cool.
Mitch had brought another meme list. I played a lot of meme games, but I had a good time.
Sure.
He brought 10. Oh man, Torax Primes. 10 Torax Primes.
Oh, right.
So 6 Gatling guns, 4 with missiles. And he said that if he were to change anything about his list, he would go 5 and 5. His missiles are just better. And he had Commissar Yarrick for the rerolls.
Nice.
And he had just some squads with like plasma and meltons.
Okay.
Right? Like nothing crazy. He had a min squad that would hung out in a Torax and got out. Took an objective.
Into it.
And then a bunch of min squads where he would give them orders to reroll against vehicles and nuke everything. So his game plan was to leaf blower.
Right.
In every matchup.
That's so funny.
That was his only plan, was leaf blower. And if you don't have respect for Torax Primes, play against this list, you will have respect for Torax Primes because they shoot a lot.
They have a lot of DACA. Where's the Landon Lions for the AP?
Yep. They shoot a lot. They shoot many bullets, and it goes vroom. So my list, I didn't want to go back to my Custodes list, and I didn't know where the Blood Angels went. And I didn't want to just take random people's models. So I had brought most of our Custodes. So I was like, well, I'll make a fun, like you have a fun list, I'll make a fun list.
Right.
It's the 2 of everything.
Totally.
So I had 2 Caladius, 2 Pallas, 2 Galatis, 2 Sagittarum. Like it was just 2 of everything.
That's awesome.
And it was kind of a meme list. I still had Trajan in it because I had become greatly endeared to Trajan's rerolls over the weekend.
Yeah.
His rerolls are so good. The consistency is really needed in the army.
Yeah.
But he went first. And he smoked. Both Caladiuses died like instantly.
Oof.
So top of turn 1, it was like both Caladiuses dead. I have a Palace on 1 wound.
Yeah.
And he has, it was the mission where there's 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay, it was priority targets.
Priority targets, nice.
So which another great mission for me. I'm like, cool. This 15 points.
Right.
I'll just hold it forever.
Exactly.
So he picks up the 2 Caladius, holds all 3 middle objectives in his. He holds 4 objectives, and he's like, all right. See what you can do.
Yeah.
What do I have left? I have 2 Palace. I brought no Vanatari in this game, which...
Wow, look at you.
Yeah. You know, he was memeing, I was memeing.
Yeah.
So I had 2 units of Sagittarum. He killed 3 Custodian with shield in a crater. So he had 0 up cover with just hotshot lasguns.
That's amazing.
Because he popped the mortals on 6s, and they all just died.
Oh, you're right.
They all just died. It was a 10-man squad with just hotshot lasguns. They killed 3 Custodian guard with shields in a crater.
That's nuts.
It was ridiculous.
Oh my god.
So I was down to 2 units of Sagittarum, 2 Palace, 2 Galatis, a banner for -1 to hit. That was my one meme. My one, like...
I like it.
That was my gotcha. And Trajan. And I was like, God, I think I've already lost this game, but we're going to see what I can do.
Yeah.
And he gave me a bunch of like turn 1 charges, because that's how you hold the middle objectives. So I just walk out, and I charge a Galatis into 2 here, and I charge a Galatis into 2 here, and my bike captain swings out and tries to regain that objective. And I pick up the guardsmen that are just lying around with heavy bolters. And now we got a game, right?
Like
now we're like both in the middle.
Okay.
And it's just, can he kill Galatises? And Mitch, after a very long week of playing games, was tired. This was the final night.
Oh my god.
And it was like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
And he was like ready to go home.
Yeah.
Because it was the longest charity hammer ever.
Yeah.
So he just continued to all in me. I forgot another thing in this list. Man, this game. All right. I wanted to put an assassin in. I had 100 points left. And I was like, I don't know what assassins are at Colin's house. Because I was like building the list in the hotel.
Sure.
I was like, well, I'll just take whatever assassin he has. And they walked me over to the shelf, and they had all 4 assassins. I was like, I don't care, you pick one.
Yeah.
So he picked the Calidus assassin. I was like, this isn't going to do anything, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
You know what the Calidus assassin does, turn 2?
The CP stuff?
No. No.
Tell me about turn 2.
Turn 2, the Cowed Assassin comes down 8 inches away from Yark because I rolled poorly. And we were like, do you think a Cowed Assassin can kill Yark in one turn? Because I don't know.
Right.
Well, she did. She one-turned Yarick. She did 3 mortals with the leadership gun. And then she comes in with her face sword, and she's just like, you don't get involved.
Oh my god.
Make a lot of 4-up, feel no pains, or die. She chops him up. Cowed Assassin, who would have thought,
That's
right?
so funny.
Who would have thought?
Oh my god.
But no, the rest of this game went down really fast.
Yeah,
it was on a knife's edge where, like, if I had lost, I had a couple things on 1 wound. The Bike Captain got down to 1 wound. I had a Palace on 1 wound. I think I had a Gladys on 1 wound.
Wow.
And it was just like, if I lost almost any of these assets, I lose the game.
Yeah.
But I didn't because Shadow Keepers is amazing. And I turn off his rerolls. So it's like, I just like, it's on that knife's edge and it just barely goes my way and I table it, right? Like the game was over very fast because I was just able to consistently touch all his tanks. And the game went real quick. We were done in like 90 minutes, I think.
Wow.
Which I did him a service. He wanted to go to bed.
Yeah.
I said,
please, let me sleep.
You can go to bed. But another great game. Super fun. Super wacky. Just bought silly lists. And
so cool.
That was Charity Hammer.
Woof.
Then I missed my flight home, but that's a separate story.
Oh no.
That was traffic in Seattle's real bad.
Yeah.
And particularly on that day, there were 4 accidents on 5 South.
Oh my gosh.
Which was
That's crazy. I've heard horror stories.
It was real bad. But it was no big deal. I just moved. All I had was a dentist appointment, so I moved my dentist appointment. No big deal.
Shucks.
Just chilled out. Airport hotel.
Sounds great. And you made it back safe.
I made it back, and I think all the models are safe. I haven't opened the case yet, but
We'll find out.
I think they're okay.
I'm sure they are.
And as penance, I didn't know that I was supposed to bring the apron.
Right.
And was told midway through Charity Hammer that people donated for me to wear this apron.
I had no idea.
Which I didn't know. That was my bad.
Yeah.
I tried to blame chat at the time.
Yeah.
No, people had messaged me. I just was so drowned in DMs I didn't read it.
No, you had a lot going on.
So here I am wearing the apron.
Now. Recanting your stories.
And totally donate to Charity Hammer. Donate to Child's Play. It's linked down below. It's a great charity. We raised $38K like there.
And the original goal was $20K.
Yeah. We crushed it.
So let's get it to at least $40K. That would be super cool and appropriate. Yeah. Really a great cause. So this happens every year. It'll happen next year.
I'll be there.
So you had a great time. You'd go again?
Can't stop me. I'll be there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'll be sleeping at 3 a.m. this time, though.
Yeah, Brian and I are like, this is going to be rough. You're going to have to play at 3 a.m. And you're like, I think it'll be fine. And you had a great time. So
yeah, I had a great time.
Awesome. Anything else you want to add before we sign out for the day?
No, I think that's it. Donate to Charity Hammer.
Yep.
And see you soon.
See you soon. And again, big thanks to everyone. Big thanks to everyone at Charity Hammer. Yep. Thanks to there's like too many names to Peter.
There were like
Colin and
50 people there.
All the commentators and all the players.
Support staff. Everybody.
Support staff.
It was awesome.
Just such a cool event. Definitely go support it. Check it out. Awesome. Well, thanks for recanting your story, Bridger. It was super cool. We actually haven't had a chance to like fully go over it.
This was it.
So there we go. Now I have all the details. Awesome. Yeah. Well, thanks guys so much for hanging out with us. We'll catch you next time on the Tabletop. Bye.
Bye.